I'm 22 years old and I'm a dreamer. Used to be a dreamer. When I was 4 years old, my family came over here to start from scratch. My dad had a working permit here, so we were here because of that. And when I turned 10 years old, my visa to go back and forth to Mexico expired. So I didn't go back to Mexico. I just pretty much stayed here through all these years until I became a dreamer in the 11th grade. Well, before I don't know if it was because I was little, I didn't know much about politics and stuff, but I feel that before it wasn't a big issue if you were here without, like, if you were here illegally. I mean, it was something people talked about, but it wasn't something like that you were terrified to talk about, like how a lot of people feel today. So it wasn't, I always said that I was born in Mexico, and I didn't see anything wrong with that until I got older and I started understanding that I kind of wasn't supposed to be here. But yeah, sometimes it was awkward or embarrassing to say that I was from Mexico because everybody used to think that you were like less if you weren't a citizen. I became a dreamer through the help of a lawyer when that law came about, and my mom asked here and there to see how I could become a dreamer. All the paperwork and the money was paid, and I became a dreamer, and I was a dreamer for about 4 years or so until my mom was a permanent resident, and then she did her citizenship. So once she became a citizen, she put me under her name as a mother-daughter trying to get me my papers. So I am no longer a dreamer. I guess some struggles that come in hand with not being a citizen will be, well, first of all, not having a social security, not qualifying for all the medical stuff. If you break a leg, you pretty much have to pay out of pocket because you don't qualify for other programs like citizens do. You don't qualify for a lot of scholarships or grants available if you don't have a social security number or if you're a citizen. So those are the big obstacles that I've come along with because I am Hispanic and not a citizen. I think being here since I was very little, I have an accent like everybody else, right? But people can't really spot me. People think that I'm from here because when we talk about my story or whatever, I've been here mostly all my life, so I kind of feel like I belong here because I grew up here. This is my hometown. Well, if I were to go south to Mexico, I would feel that I don't belong there because how I said, I've been here most of my life. Even today when I go visit and stuff, people can spot me out and be like, you're not from here, you talk funny, or you don't understand what I'm talking about, or you don't know some of the foods or the candies or the way to get around. I stand out because I feel like I don't belong there, but I came from there. But now if I go further north, let's say I have an experience when I went to Mississippi, people spotted me out real quick and they were like, well, you're not from here because you don't know your way around, you talk funny, and you don't look like us. And people look at you like you're supposed to keep an eye on you and what you're doing the whole time, and it's just uncomfortable. So I just feel like if I go too south, they can spot me, and if I go too north, they can spot me. So if I stay here in the center of my center, it's my comfort zone where I feel that I'm okay in between.
My name is Maite Menchaca. I'm a junior here at the RGV, and I am an international student. The process started when I came to UTPA's orientation day. They had one day in a hotel. I came in and they gave me everything I needed, my application, all the paperwork I needed, they specified all the process I needed to go through in order to get my student visa. And I had to go to Matamoros, the consulate in Matamoros, for it, and I just came in, and they asked me for all that paperwork and proof I had a resident in Mexico, and what I wanted to study and for how long, and they gave me a visa, and here I am. I know I was going into another country. I know it was another language, another way of talking, way of thinking, way of doing things. I was kind of ready for that change, but at the same time, you don't really know until you experience it. And yeah, in the beginning, it was like, what am I doing? Like, how do these people communicate? Like, how do they do things? The biggest obstacle, I think it has been has been the language barrier, because I still have my Mexican accent going on. I'm trying to speak English as like the most correct way, but it's always there. It has been getting better throughout, like the way I'm expressing myself, and I talk to people more in English. It was very hard for me to speak up at the beginning because I was scared I would not say things right. I would just listen. I'll just listen in the beginning, and then I'll start to speak a little bit more and more and more, and now I'm beginning to build that confidence in talking in English. With a Mexican background, they're my to-go people because I just relate more easily with them, and it's like they use the same expressions I do while talking, and they understand what I'm talking about, and everything is just more easily because we kind of know how our minds and how we speak and what we speak about. At the same time, I love like talking to people who have no Mexican background at all, and I love that change. I love how different they are, and it's just like a new world, honestly. Even though like we're like a river away, it's just so different up north. Because even the valley says, oh, up north is like so different from us, and I would love to experience that. I would love to see how and why and how they're different. So yeah, it would be like an adventure just to see new people. I have one of my best friends in graphic design. She comes from Chiapas, and she already worked at the rec, and we got along super well, and she was like, hey, you should come work with me at the rec, and we're looking for a graphic designer. It's gonna be super cool, you should apply. And she taught me how to apply. She taught me the process. She actually interviewed me at that time, and then yeah, she was a great help. She was like my guide to join the rec. So I like to be like a simple hi. Ay, hice amiguitos, no sé cómo estás preguntando eso. ¿O qué quieres? Como, yeah, I just like started talking to people because at the same time, like most people speak Spanish anyway, and I wanted to learn, so I was just like beginning to learn to speak in English. I was like, hey, like I'm Maite, talk to me.